Fighting out of the red corner, wearing the tan trunks trimmed with white, weighed in at 10 stone and 3 pounds with a 25 fight record, 14 wins, 2 inside the scheduled distance, 11 defeats and 1 draw. From France, please welcome the Lion, Renald Garrido. And across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the red trunks trimmed with gold, weighed in at 10 stone, 2.5 pounds and undefeated in 12 contests. 12 wins, 9 inside the scheduled distance. Former Olympian and former ABA champion, ladies and gentlemen, undefeated from Sedgefield, Bradley Saunders! Timekeeper at the bell is Andrew East. Our referee in charge of the action is Mr. Steve Gray, and this is 8 3-minute rounds.
Okay, boys, if I call break, you take 1 step back. Don't let any punches go around the back of the head. Protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves, touch them up. Good luck, fellas.
He's had a tough few months, Bradley Saunders. He was due to box for the Commonwealth title in April in Newcastle against Dave Ryan, and what a humdinger that would have been. Only to injure a hand, and badly as well. Needed surgery and ruptured tendons and ligaments. You name it, he had it.
First round.
He came out of hospital looking like he'd been in a Terminator movie. There was so much treatment done to that injured hand and arm. But anyway, here he is again after 6 months off against a very, very tough Frenchman indeed, Renald Garrido, who we've seen quite a bit of against British opposition. He doesn't have much of a punch, Garrido, but he's very game and extremely tough. Never been stopped. Has put people on the floor. Has put up some very decent performances, and is expected to come here and give Bradley Saunders a pretty decent workout. And Saunders himself, in the build-up to this one, said, I need rounds. A quick bowl-over job is no good to me. I need to get some rounds under my belt.
Well, I like the way Saunders has started tonight. I was always worried maybe he'd rely too much on his power, which is maybe some of the reason why he's having the knuckle problems. But he's keeping us at range, using a good solid jab. This is clever stuff from him, stuff that we know he's well capable of after his amateur career. So this is a good positive start against a real tough opponent.
Tough opponent and a bit of a character. While we were away on our commercial break, they brought Garrido to the ring. He was wearing a full Lion outfit and came in through the bottom rope, crawled across the ring. It was a bit of a character at the weigh-in yesterday as well. It was all hugs and almost a Gallic kiss Bradley Saunders got. Very amiable weigh-in, not the usual pushing and shoving that we expect. I think all the nice guy stuff has gone now.
Just going to have to be patient, Saunders. I mean, it's pretty obvious what Garrido is going to do. He's going to keep coming forward with the tight guard and trying to take some of the steam out of Saunders' work. So the main thing is just keep it steady. Maybe some target behind the elbows would be a good idea. He does punch solid to the body. But this guy has the plan to put him on the back foot, and he's just landed a good body shot of his own there, Garrido. So doing fine. There's a bit of the elbow there. Forearm again.
Yeah, it's going to take an awful lot to discourage Garrido, as you said. And clearly they know that. Because when we saw him in March in Hull last time out against another French opponent, Stéphane Benito, I mean, he was a real crash-bang wallop. He got him out of there in 5, but looked pretty crude and rugged at times. As you say, this is a much more measured, really picking his shots, taking his time, not trying to rush things.
Yeah, and you don't want to waste your time throwing hard punches when you know they're going to be blocked. So just pile up the points, use the jab, put a good stiff solid jab. Then, as I say, the target behind the elbow, uppercut is a good punch for this type of opponent who's marching straight forward. Good opening round from Saunders.
Bonus 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's the shot to the body. That'll maybe widen the guard of Garrido, then the headshots can go in.
Round 2 in of what is scheduled to be a 6-rounder. The smart money is on it being exactly that. Bradley Saunders, though, impressive in that opening session against Renald Garrido, the Frenchman. His career performance was very, very impressive. 8 rounds, not 6, excuse me. It'll go the full 8. Yeah, he had a terrific performance earlier this year, Jimmy. He went the distance with Sergei Fedchenko, and Fedchenko had also been the distance with the legendary Juan Manuel Marquez. So to go the distance with Fedchenko and to get a draw on one of the cards was a measure of what Garrido brings to the party. So any thoughts that Saunders might get this fella out of there early are probably going to be wide of the mark.
It's pretty basic what he's doing, just marching straight forward with a tight guard. But the main thing is Saunders doesn't waste energy throwing bombs through the tight guard. You know, he's beginning to be a bit more adventurous now, Garrido. So now is the time to get the solid jab, but then get behind those elbows with the body shots. Uppercuts when he gets close, it would work. Yeah, you can see he's going to be a pest, Garrido. He's brought some ambition here tonight.
He really has. What lets Garrido down is his lack of power. He does have 14 victories, but only 2 of them inside the distance.
See, he's making Saunders work every second. He knows exactly what he's about, Garrido. He doesn't mind a lot of the shots he's taken are partially blocked. The steam has been taken out of them. So it's just important that Saunders is in the best of shape and that he doesn't waste energy. See, this guy's on him all the while.
Spent a few weeks in Marbella preparing for this one. Bradley Saunders. One of his sparring partners there was another Liverpool fighter. He's always a bit of a nuisance, Derry Matthews.
I'd like to see him bringing some punches up through the middle. Wants to get close, so oblige, let him come close, and then drive the uppercut. Especially when Garrido gets set to throw punches of his own. He's pretty basic in what he does, but he's strong and he's determined.
Clever body shot there from Saunders.
Yeah, Saunders is using his skill now. This is good stuff from him.
Still Garrido plugging away, landing some body shots of his own.
Yeah, well, some more good advice from the corner there. The jab is the key, agree with that, and punches up through the middle would work a treat. This guy takes chances, he's tight as he trundles forward, but once he gets close he takes chances so he can be caught.
Round 3 then of this 8-rounder. Bradley Saunders from the northeast of England in the red trunks against the Marseille man, Renald Garrido. The man who's seen plenty of British opposition, Martin Lindsay 3 years ago this month. Jack Catterall a couple of years ago. Catterall a real prospect. He couldn't get rid of him early. Robbie Davis Jr. did have him on the floor, but he got up, put Davis on the floor before losing on points, and Lewis Rees, he got a draw with the then unbeaten Welshman in Germany. But there's real composure about Saunders tonight. That's as impressive as anything.
I think Saunders has felt a couple of those body shots from Garrido as well. So it's good when he catches him coming forward with that jab. I mean, this is what Garrido likes, pushing him back to the ropes and then keeping him occupied. Saunders wants to get the punches out a little bit earlier, get the jab working again.
We're talking in the corner between rounds, Jim, about trying to get the left hook into play.
Yeah, I think it's the left hook to the body too. See, Garrido does take chances, tight defence as he shuffles forward, but when he gets there, he does take chances. I really feel the uppercut, I think he was about to try and time one there, Saunders. I think that's the punch that might work.
Once again, Garrido leading off, getting a right hand through. Saunders a little bit quiet in this round.
Yeah, I think if Saunders can grab a little breather, he's quite happy to do that, because Garrido's been on him every second, you know, in the first couple of rounds.
And he's still on him here. And a shove over. Saunders being forced onto the back foot, looking to land the uppercut that you've been talking about, Jim, but coming back with something there after he got pinged with a left hand himself. Garrido continues to set this pace. And Bradley Saunders wants a little breather. He's going to struggle to find any time to get one.
See, I don't think whatever plan Saunders come in with, he's been allowed to use it. He's just having to react. This is good stuff. This is a good match for him.
The Olympia, over 100 years old, this venue. It has seen better days, but it is very atmospheric. We've seen a few nights in here, haven't we, Jim?
Yeah, but I think it brings the best out in fighters. A real good boxing venue.
Round 4 of this 8-rounder then. Bradley Saunders looking really sharp, positive, relaxed, accurate in the first couple of rounds. Took his foot off the gas a little bit in the last round. Let's see what he can come back with here.
I wonder if he'll be able to push Garrido back. A good body shot there. I wonder, you know, if he could just stand his ground and see if he can push this fellow back. He's boxing well. I think he's feeling a bit comfortable now. A little bit of the intensity has left Garrido, so he's looking more comfortable now. You say he took a breather in the previous round. That's right, because I think it's the first time he's had a chance to do that. But this really is a good match for Saunders. He's having to work every second here.
He wants to be busy, Bradley Saunders, as well. Wants to make up for lost time. He's talking about after this one, he wants a couple more fights this calendar year. He would like a shot at that Commonwealth strap that he should have had early this year against O'Brien. You might have seen losing that in very unfortunate circumstances last week. A back spasm. John Wayne Hibbert now claims that belt. Saunders would love a shot at him. But first, he's got to come through this, and this is a stern examination that Garrido is giving him.
Yeah, usually if Garrido starts the round, you know, with a flurry, and then kind of dies down a little bit, but it's been the opposite here. He started quietly, and now he's building. Trying to build up a head of steam now.
Well, I had Garrido winning that last round, Jim, but there is a case that this one is very, very even. He's hustling away here, Garrido. And a lot of Saunders' work is falling short.
Yeah, a lot of it's been blocked again. So I'd like to see him lead off more than counter. This is not going his way at the moment.
It really isn't. Garrido's threatening to rough him up in there at the moment. He's blowing hard as well. Digging in another one of those body shots. He's had success with those body shots, but nothing puts a dent in this man. Missing badly with the uppercut there. And I think finding this tough, Jim.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always going to be tough against Garrido, but I think really he should be leading off more as opposed to counter-punching. No, this has been a good round for Garrido. Yep, clever stuff, then stepping to the side, you know, making some target for himself. Not uncomfortable times at the moment for Bradley Saunders. The initiative, stand his ground and meet this fellow as opposed to backing off from him.
Garrido maintaining that high, tight guard. Once again, it's the Frenchman on the front foot. Saunders boxing on the back foot.
this is better. He's getting his punches off a little bit earlier. No, I don't think countering was the best plan against this fellow. When you allow him close, he's a real test. Good stuff from Saunders. They're looking for that body again.
Body shots have been there for him. And he has picked a few good ones. And that was better work straight down the middle as well from Saunders.
Yeah, he's getting his punches off a bit earlier at the moment. That's much better. I think he's been trying to counter. And it's difficult to counter someone when they're swarming all over you. This is better again at the moment from Saunders.
Clever again from Saunders, immediately let Garrido on him. And Saunders lands, seems to have any impression at all on Garrido, who continues just to try and bully him.
I think Saunders is going to have to learn to tie opponents up in the corner. I mean, it's a little bit macho. You don't always like grab and hold. But, you know, sometimes you just have to do what has to be done. He's getting his punches off a little bit earlier, but he wants to get off these ropes. That's it. Just let the referee break you up, then start again. Don't laze on the ropes doing nothing.
Well, they said in his corner to Bradley Saunders, stay off the ropes. That's easier said than done when you've got this fella pushing you back.
Saunders has been having a good round here, but it's taken a lot out of him again, and that was my big worry right at the start here. Winding up big shots, that was a perfect shot.
Good uppercut that. And it just bounces off Garrido, who keeps coming back. Well, this is a real gut check for Bradley Saunders.
See, when he gets his punches off just that little bit earlier, it's working for him. Now that was just a stumble. I think he was pushed onto his heels there. I don't think he was hurt. Well, when a fighter in the corner asks what round it is, it's never a good plan. It usually means he's looking forward to the end of it. And I couldn't blame Bradley Saunders because this is hard going. He's having to fight every second. This is a tough match for him.
It was never going to be easy, we knew that. Just one look at Garrido's record will tell you that, but it is turning into a real tough old night for him. I just wonder about that 6-month layoff, and at the back of his mind, what's it like back in the ring when you've had major surgery as well? Again, a terrific body shot, delivered crisply and sharply. Garrido not bothered. And I think that's at the back of his mind. He landed a really good uppercut in that last round as well, Jim. He's landed some of his best stuff tonight, Saunders, and it's made no impression on Garrido at all. This is
an important lesson for Saunders tonight. Not everybody's going to fall down with your power. He does have terrific power. And usually when he lands clean, he puts the other guy onto his heels. That hasn't happened tonight. He's been made to work, and it's still happening now. Oh, good work there from Garrido. Nice from Saunders. That's an uppercut there, but not everything is answered.
A response from Garrido. And he's gone quiet again here, Saunders, and Garrido all over him, swarming onto him. And Saunders is really going to have to dig in here. Well, this could end really badly. And down he goes. Now, is that going to be a knockdown?
I think he's shaking. Yeah, yes.
5, 6, 7, 8. Well, the plot thickens, doesn't it? Still nearly half the round to go here, and 2 more after this.
No, I mean, it's as though he lacks experience, Saunders here. He should be tying Garrido up. Just doing anything to stop this onslaught, but he doesn't seem to know what to do. He's all over the place. I don't think he was badly hurt with the knockdown, but he's on the floor. He's been asking what round it is, so he's certainly not happy in there.
I think he's feeling this physically. He was blowing at the end of the third round, and Garrido is giving him nowhere to run. He's all over the place, Saunders.
I think he's running on empty.
He is. He is.
I think it's been knocked out of him. Full credit to Garrido.
And Garrido staying with it. And Saunders just trying to survive now against a guy who's not known as a big puncher as well. He's absolutely battering Bradley Saunders, who doesn't know where he is, and Steve Gray has turned him around. Garrido thought he was going to celebrate a win there. Got away with one, Saunders. And he went in with his head there as well. And that was blatant. And he's thrown him out. Steve Gray has thrown him out. Well, it was blatant, that headbutt. He was coming apart at the seams anyway, Bradley Saunders. And he led with his head. And that was that. And that is a stunner.
Well, Nick, it was always my worry when I saw the way this fight kicked off that Saunders was going to run out of steam. He was throwing bombs, which were being blocked by Garrido, or partially blocked, but he kept throwing them, using up far too much energy. But a lot of credit must go to Garrido for the pressure he exerted. He took his bumps, he kept coming forward, and just ground the fight out of Saunders. And that was a blatant headbutt when everything had caved in for him. So it was actually not too many, home referees would have taken that decision. Full credit to Steve Gray for doing that, because that was a blatant headbutt to a fight that had turned drastically against him. And there you go, he will never be unbeaten again. He just couldn't cope with the pressure. I think he was running on empty. He'd used up the steam he had. Garrido is not noted as a puncher. You were thinking he would be grabbing hold, he would do something to get himself out of trouble, but he just seemed totally lost. Didn't know what to do, didn't cope with the pressure. You should be grabbing hold here, let the referee break you up, then regroup and start again. But he just didn't seem to know what to do. And there's the knockdown. Wasn't particularly hurt by the knockdown, probably a bit of exhaustion and balance, but it's a big round against him. Then we'll see how. Bang, that was blatant. He seemed to bend the knees and then push forward with his head down. That looked intentional. Maybe it wasn't, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but it looked intentional.
And there's no great complaints either, is there?
Yep, Steve Gray, who got a better look at it than we did, made a difficult decision and a good decision, which I congratulate him for. Not happy to see Saunders lose, but full credit to the referee for doing his job properly.
Yeah, Saunders trudging back to his corner, and there wasn't much of a protest either from him or in this crowd. That was just blatant.
I mean, he actually dipped at the knees and thrust himself forward. Now, blatant, intentional, the more you look at it, the more intentional it looks. So, loss on the card, but I wouldn't mind watching this one again.
Ladies and gentlemen, timekeeper Andy East has recorded a time of 2 minutes and 53 seconds of the 6th round. Referee Steve Gray has disqualified Saunders, therefore your winner. From France, the Lion, Renald, Garrido.
Well, he can celebrate. He deserves to. He came in, gave a real good go at this, lost the first 2 rounds, and a handshake with Scotty Cardle there, who is sitting ringside. He's out injured tonight as well. He should have been on this bill, but he's always given a good account of himself. His 4 previous British opponents will testify to that, but really after 2 rounds, something didn't seem to be right about him. Whether it was mental, whether it was physical, whatever. He was trying to dig in, trying to fight